Welcome back to my 23-24 Premier League predictions. Last year around I got 2 out of 20, which, I guess City and Aston Villa predicted. In 20th, I have put Sheffield United, alright? I probably shouldn't be doing this, however, they just haven't really made any improvements this summer, have they? And the squad isn't as good as they were when they were in the Premier League in the 2021 season, where they finished 9th. Well, they then got relegated the next season. In 19th, I have put Luton Town. Obviously expected, because I don't really have high expectations for Luton Town, obviously. I don't think they've improved enough to be considered a proper Premier League side next year. And they do have this historic thing of, they went from the 5th division of English football to the Premier League in 9 seasons only, which was pretty crazy. However, they just narrowly got to the Premier League last season, so it's not looking that good for them. In 18th, I have put Everton, which, is it really that much of a shock? No, not really. Everton have been a very strong Premier League side for the last, 8 years already? Something like that. So I think this should come as no shock, seeing as that team has really had a downfall. I think Sean Dyche will be gone by January or February. I think they'll be in and out of the relegation zone all season, but in the end, I think maybe in the final 3 match days, they're going to get relegated. In 17th, I've put Nottingham Forest, which I think is the same as last season, or did they finish 16th last season? Point is, Steve Cooper is in trouble. I think this season is the season where Steve Cooper gets sacked, alright? He isn't the worst manager in the Premier League. However, last season he was really close to getting sacked, especially in the last 6 games. He was very close to getting sacked. But obviously in the end he wasn't. Was that the best decision? I think so. In 16th place, I have decided to put Wolverhampton Wanderers. Alright? And I know you all probably are like, what the hell? They finished 12th every season. And they have been a decent Premier League side for the last 5 years. They're very underrated. However, new manager Julian Lopetegui, I know that he was once a Real Madrid manager, and he's done very well with Sevilla in the past. I think this season he's going to struggle, because Wolves are going to be in and out of the relegation zone, probably. Pretty bad season for them. In 15th, I have put West Ham. Alright, with a little bit of nostalgia, you could say, deja vu from last season. I think West Ham are going to finish in the exact same spot that they did last season. And it's going to be interesting to see how West Ham managed to survive with a Declan Rice-less team. Declan Rice obviously moved for 100 million to Arsenal. Do you think he's going to flop? I don't think he's going to flop. I think Kai Havertz is possibly going to flop. But obviously, Declan Rice was a key player in their midfield, but I think their attack is fine. They have the likes of Antonio, Benrahma, Jared Bowen, Lucas Paqueta, who can do just fine. Obviously, their goalkeeper is pretty mid. The defense probably needs to get a bit of improvement. Do I think they're going to be able to get far in the Europa League? Probably the quarterfinals. In 14th, we have Fulham as my prediction. Obviously, their star striker, Mitrovic, I think he's going to perform again. In 13th, I'm predicting Bournemouth, alright? Bournemouth, honestly, I don't know. I think people are going to be putting them near the relegation zone, 17th. But I think they'll be fine. Honestly, they have a good new coach, Iraola, coming from Rayo, which did do very well last season, also beating Real Madrid and Barcelona. In 12th, I have put Burnley, alright? Basically, 101 points in the championship. They flew away with the league last season. Vincent Kompany, what an appointment, honestly. I think this season he's going to do even better. However, my only worry is Burnley's squad. Their squad is not good enough for Premier League football. So I really want to see what Kompany's going to be able to do with this team. If they could make them get 101 points in the championship, I'd love to see what they can do in the Prem. Crystal Palace, overall a very, very average team. They have good youngsters in Olise and Eze, who do have the problem that they can't really play together in the same team because their formation and tactics don't work like that. But I want to see what happens with them. And they have overall good teams. So in 10th, right in the middle, we have Brentford, who last season did very well, and this season I think they should replicate it again. Thomas Frank is a good manager, their team is very good, I think they can pull off a few. Well, I won't say shock wins. I think they can pull off a lot of wins against top six teams. I really hope they beat Chelsea again because that was very good. In ninth, I have Tottenham. And look, let me explain. The only reason why I have Tottenham in ninth is because they're going to probably lose Harry Kane to Bayern Munich. It's not a done deal yet. But if Harry Kane goes to Bayern Munich, they're going to lose their top goal scorer. And it's all going to be really Son scoring the goals. Obviously, you have players like Kulusevski who can get the job done, but he just hasn't been that good since joining Tottenham 2 seasons ago now. And Harry Kane really, 30 goals last season, that was very underrated. Instead, everyone just looked at Haaland, who, 36 goals in a season is great, but I think if they leave, Tottenham won't drop off that badly because they do have a pretty decent appointment in Postecoglou, who does have experience in the Scottish League, but obviously the Scottish League is not the same as the Premier League. In eighth, we have Aston Villa. What a team they've built over this summer. They've signed players like Diaby and Pau Torres. Honestly, well done. Unai Emery should replicate again. I think they can get pretty far in the Conference League, this season. I think possibly semi-finals, possibly even winning it. They've improved on the squad that they had last season, and they're on the up trajectory. Only reason I haven't put them in 7th or 6th is because they are going to have to face these Conference League games, which will make their schedule tighter. But I think if they can get used to that this season, then next season they can really compete for 7th or even 6th. I put Brighton, who obviously are going to have a tougher schedule this time round. I think they're in the Europa League. Which will be very interesting to see. Brighton, Hove Albion in the Europa League. Obviously, 7th is a good season for them. Last season they did finish 6th. However, this season they won't be as surprising as last season. I don't think they're going to be as good as last season. However, it'll be very average, pretty good finish. Honestly, I'd say 7th is a very good finish. Now I'm going to get to the top 6 as I have put Chelsea down. Obviously, last season they finished 12th. So this is a very big jump by 6 places. Obviously now they have a good manager in Pochettino, who I expect to do big things. He has reached Champions League finals. He was very good at Tottenham, pretty decent at Southampton, so I'd love to see what he can do at Chelsea. I think he will stay the whole season. Todd Bowley has given him the funds to, sign players like Nkunku. What a transfer, honestly. In 5th, we have, I think, the richest club in the world, Newcastle United. Last season was a very good season for them. They were 3rd the whole season, basically. Obviously, in the last few matches, they dropped down to 4th because United took over them. But that's fine, 5th is still a great finish, and I think that will qualify them for the new Champions League format, which is starting from the 24-25 season. So, obviously, we have Liverpool, Arsenal, United, and City. Now, I've put Liverpool in 4th. Because obviously last season they got into 5th, the Europa League. Come on, they're probably going to win the Europa League, let's be honest. And they're getting Champions League football anyway this next season, so it doesn't make a difference. Obviously they have massively improved their midfield, signing the likes of McAllister from Brighton, very young Argentinian. He's already won the World Cup, so that's a good start. He was good for Brighton. And Dominic Szoboszlai from RB Leipzig. Those two will massively improve the midfield. And in 3rd, I have put Arsenal. Alright, I don't think they're going to be competing for the league as strong. I don't think they're going to be first. Maybe they're going to be first 2 match weeks this whole season. Because I think it's going to be between City and United. Arsenal do have a strong squad. They are still improving. They're still young though. Maybe next season they could pull a bigger battle. In 2nd, I've put Manchester United, who have done some great business. Honestly, they're the most historic side in England, and they are showing it in the recent 2 years, since Erik ten Hag came in. The team has improved massively, so 2nd, I think, is a very good finish for them. And in 1st, I'm going to put City. Pretty inevitable they did win the treble this last season, and I think they're going to replicate something like that again this season. The robot. They also signed Kovacic from Chelsea for 30 million. I think he's going to be a good midfielder. What do you think of them down below? Put what you think of them down below. And until next time, goodbye.